Yes. Now, the author or the narrator wants to tell you about one incident or one story which tells about the human nature, what it is. Okay. It was it was quite a big city in the valley of a mountain, some 1,500 miles. How much far from his home? 1,500 miles away from his home. And the inhabitants, the people residing over there, had never known the quality of mercy. So they didn't know the feelings. They didn't have any good feelings. They were very rude. They were very unkind and all in that place. Which place he has gone now? In a big city in the valley of Mountain House, some 1,500 miles from his place. They were cruel people, murder, robbery, pickpocketing. These were daily occurrences. By tradition, the people were professional soldiers. Okay, some of them went to distant places and lent out money on interest. So, what kind of work those people used to do? Yes, murder, robbery, and all was common in that area. And by tradition, they were professional soldiers. Okay, some of them went to distant places and lent out money on interest, and some served as watchmen. In which places? In banks, mills, and large commercial establishments in big cities. Now, money was highly valued by them. For money, they would do anything, even commit murder. So he's giving the description of the people of one particular place where he has gone now, which is 1,500 miles away from his place. The people over there are not at all good. They have all the bad characteristics and they are ready to commit murder also. That kind of mentality those people have. Actually, by profession, they are soldiers, many of them. Some even lend money on interest and some work as guards in various establishments and all. And he stayed where the narrator stayed over there in the big city in a very small dingy room on a dirty street. He was not that well settled. Okay, he has gone there to earn some money. As he is earning a little amount, that's why he can't afford to stay in a big plush area. That's why he's staying in a very bad, dirty locality. Okay, so this description is giving over here where he's staying in a very small dingy room on a dirty street. And what work he was doing over there? He was teaching. He was teaching some migrant laborers. And from what timing? What timing he was teaching that? From 9:30 in the night till 11. What he was doing there? He used to teach them there. And what he used to teach them? Usually, he taught them to write addresses in English. Okay, migrant laborers. You all know in our country, maximum of the migrant laborer population is from northern India, that is Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and all. So those people, those laborers are usually illiterate. They don't know how to read and write, and they want to write letters. This story, whatever narrator has written, is written maybe long back. During that time, mobiles were not there. So they had to depend only on writing letters. So these people, what they used to do is to make themselves convenient of writing the letter, they used to learn this skill of writing address in English because they can't write that in their mother tongue. So they used to learn this from this narrator. Okay, so he used to teach them what timing 9:30 to 11, and he used to teach them to write address in English. Okay, and learning to write the address in English was considered as a great education by them. Okay, not everything they wanted to learn, only a small specific thing of writing the address, and that also learning it was considered to be a very great thing. You must have seen people who write addresses at the post office before the invention of mobiles and all. People used to depend wholly on post offices and all. And near their post offices, some people used to sit there. They used to earn sitting there. What they used to do? They used to those illiterate migrants, workers, laborers, and all those who are wanted to write letter and all, they used to make those people write the letter and they used to give them money. Okay, so they were paid, and those people were paid anything between 1 anna and 4 anna. This currency was there in our country long time. How much? 1 anna and 4 anna. For what? For writing address. I thought the skill of writing address to people in order to escape the same fate myself and to see if I could save money. So he was teaching that so that he can earn some money for himself. And in those days, what he used to do, how his routine was, he's telling over there, over to us in this term. How was his routine? He used to wake up at 4 in the evening, okay? Whole day he used to sleep. There was some purpose for that. What was that purpose? To save the expenses of drinking morning tea and eating the noon meal. See how what kind of life he was living. Why he was doing that? To save some money for his future use. That's why whole day he used to sleep. Evening 4 he used to get up so that he used to save the money of expenses of his breakfast, lunch and all. At 4 p.m., what his usual routine was? He used to step out to have tea and meal. And you must understand that I was dressed in a suit. And how he used to go in a suit, okay? And he had a wallet in his coat pocket. Coat, you must have seen blazer, which is called as. And how much amount he had in his pocket. This is very important. How much amount he carried in his pocket? 14 rupees in it, and it was his life saving, okay? People didn't used to keep their money in banks, okay? Hardly they had some money, and he also had some money. That was his full life saving. That was the total amount that belonged to him, the whole earning. Not more than that he had anything else. Only 14 rupees he had total amount of his life saving in his pocket now, in his wallet. Now what he did, as usual, has a daily chorus. What he did, he went in the evening to the restaurant. It was very crowded, and he ate full meal. He ate a full meal consisting of what? Consisting of chapati and meat curry. Okay, what he had? Chapati and meat curry, and also he drank tea. The bill came to how much amount now? 11 annas. How much it came to? 11 annas. And for that, now the bill has been put before him. What he did, as usual, he has to give that money and he has put his hand in the pocket to remove that amount. But what happened? He begins sweating now, okay, profusely, and almost digested whatever he had eaten. And the reason, what was the reason now? Because the wallet has been stolen. So imagine the condition when he's not having money to pay the bill. What will it be? Just imagine. It will be in front of your eyes the situation now. Someone had picked my pocket and taken away my wallet. It was a very big, busy restaurant. The owner gave a loud guffaw, startling everyone around. Now, as the restaurant was busy and when he told that he has lost his wallet, what the owner did, he started laughing in an insulting way to this narrator. And he caught me by the label, and what he did, he caught hold of the narrator over the collar and scolded him and shouted, "This trick won't work here." Means maybe he was cheated before many a times by many people. That's why he feels that this person also is cheating him by not paying the bill. That's why he must have told this. This trick won't work here. Put the money down and go, or else I will gouge your eyes out. So, what was the response by the owner of the restaurant? It was not good at all. It was not human at all. He didn't have any respect for humankind. He was a very unkind person. He told, "Give the money or I will gouge out your eyes." I looked at the people around. So he was in such a bad condition that he wanted somebody to come out from the crowd and help him, but nobody came in front. And he could see many people standing like hungry wolves over there. Nobody had human character to surrender over him. So what was it? This is telling that all the bad evil things also exist in this society. If he said he would gouge my eyes, he would gouge them out. He's feeling frightened now. He's afraid now because he can do that. The owner can do that. It is possible for him. So for that, we just want to convince the owner. He's trying out some other way so that he will let him go. What he's telling now, the narrator is telling that let my food be here. I will go and bring some money, he's telling. But restaurant owner is not ready at all. Just wants his money. That's all. He's not ready to listen to him again. He asked me to put off my coat. I removed my coat, the narrator is telling. And then he asked him to remove his shirt now, which was inside the coat. That also he removed. Now his shoes was to be removed and he will remove that. And finally the trouser. What is the trouser? The cotton pant, the stitched one worn by the male. Or so the idea seemed to, what was the main intention over here now? By the restaurant owner, strip him out. Means gouge his eyes out, then send him out naked. And nothing on underneath, he told, the narrator told. Everyone started laughing. And they started insulting him. And about 50 people, they started repeating the same thing. And there is nothing underneath. They also started teasing him and shouting. My hands refused to move. I saw in my imagination a man standing in the crowd, startled, and he was imagining to himself how his condition would be after a few minutes. Life was going to end. He felt like that. Let it end. And for all this, never mind, O Creator of the world. My God, I had nothing to say. Everything would end to the satisfaction of all. Now at this moment he is feeling very lonely. No one is coming to help him and he's just remembering God and he's telling whatever will happen, let that happen. I know there is no other way to come out of it, he's feeling. And feels like it is the end of him now. And as soon as he began to undo or remove his trouser, he heard a voice from the crowd. And what was the voice? Stop, I shall pay the money, he said. Okay, stop, I shall pay the money. Everyone turned in the direction of the voice. There stood a pair. Now, who was that person? How he was looking? He was very fair complexioned man, maybe 6 foot tall, with a red turban, pagri with a red turban and a white trouser he was wearing. And he was sporting a handlebar mustache, you know. So, and had blue eyes. Usually the blue color eyes was very common in that place, in that hilly region. It is very common. He came forward and asked the restaurant keeper how much he has to pay. So who has to pay? The narrator, how much he has to pay? He just came forward and asked how much he has to pay? 11 annas. Remember this. Underline the important sentences and all. As I told you earlier also, for 1 mark questions, it is asked usually from the textbook. So you should be very good in your knowledge about the lesson. So underline the important sentences. So 11 anna was the bill. And he paid the amount. He turned to me and said, put on your clothes. Now what the next thing that stranger did, he paid the amount and told the narrator to put on his clothes again. Only he was one person. No one else came to his rescue. I put them on. Come, he called me. I went with him. So what he did next? He took him, and the author, the narrator, was so grateful to that person. He had he wanted to express his gratitude towards that person, the thankfulness he wanted to give him. And what I have not seen a finer man, he told him, you have done a great deed over here by saving me from such a situation, and I'm very grateful to you. I will never forget your gratefulness towards me. and all. He started appreciating, he started thanking him and all. And the person laughed. And what's your name? He asked. I told my name and where I came from. So that person asked him about his introduction and he told in full detail what his name is, where he came from, what he did and all. And now I wanted to know his name. He said, I have no name, he told. And I said, in that case, Mercy must be your name. Underline this sentence. Mercy must be your name. He did not laugh at that. He was a very serious kind of person. He didn't laugh at all. And we walked until, and they all walked until they reached a deserted bridge. Okay, deserted bridge means hardly any people was to be seen in that area or on that bridge. He looked around and what he did next, turning away without turning around. Look, you must go away without, and what he told him first thing, I will send you, and while going, you should not turn back and see. If anyone asks you where you were seen, you must say no. If anyone asks you whether you have seen me, you must say no. I understood. Okay, that person is warning. Okay, the narrator that while going, you should not turn, and if anybody asks you about me, tell that I am not seen. That's all. I understood. He took out. Now, what he did next? He took out what? 5 wallets from his pocket. Okay, 5 among them was the narrator's mine. Which of this is yours? I pointed to my wallet. Open it. I opened it, and his money was intact in that. He told me, "Go, may God help you." I repeated, "May God help you." So this is the story. So you must be knowing now. It is about the human character, how the situation has changed his own. Yes, what has happened to the narrator, what he was going through at one particular moment, and all of a sudden, when one stranger comes and helps him, and that stranger was none other than the pickpocketer, the robber himself. But in him, after seeing his condition, the narrator's condition, when he was being made naked, it turned him into a good human being, isn't it? Although he was in bad thing, but seeing that he turned into a good human being, that human quality occurred in him, and he tried to save the narrator. So we all should have such good qualities in us, the helping nature, which will make this society into a good place to reside. So hope so you have understood this lesson. Yes, please go through the textbook ones and underline the important sentences and all. I will be forwarding the question bank of 1 mark questions. You have to write the answer on your own, and I am sending the notes also. Okay, I'll conclude here. Goodbye. Take care.